Welcome to Sips with the Suriel. I'm Jenna.
I'm Danielle.
And I'm Dina.
We're just three best friends who like to get together and talk books. We would love for you to follow along each week with us, just like a book club. We will tell you the week before what book we will be discussing so you can make sure you've read it. If you checked out our Instagram, we make art, so we will post our art interpretations for each book we cover. Today we have author J.E. Larson here with us. J.E. is the author of the Valdor book series, A Trial of Fate and A Trial of the Heart, and hopefully soon to be released, A Trial of Two Worlds. J.E., welcome. We are so happy to have you here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to sit down and chat this book series with you guys. I'm so happy you loved it and just can't wait to dive in.
Woo, we're excited too. So, here at Sips with the Surreal, we like to pair a drink with the books we talk about. So, Dina, my love, tell
Yes.
everyone what we have created today.
So today we're drinking Shifter Elixir. It has vodka, elderflower liqueur, curacao, you need to work on that word,
That's a hard hit.
lemon juice, and sparkling water. So I know like there was a version where it had edible glitter, but I didn't get any edible glitter. Did
And an
you? No.
edible flower. We're not that fancy.
We're not that fancy.
Maybe one day for making big bucks, but
And I would like to shout out Chat GPT. I asked specifically, hey, what drink can I pair with a trial of fate? And it spit out this,
oh
um,
my gosh.
which is really, but it did call it Fey Elixir. And I was like, we're gonna make that into
No.
Shifter Elixir.
I like the sound of that shifter elixir. It just rolls right off the tongue.
Right? It sounded
Absolutely.
fun. So yeah, that's what we're drinking.
Maybe something to throw in the books later on.
Yeah, there you
Ooh,
go.
possibly. There's still room to do that, so maybe.
Yes.
Skylar's been stressed. She needs to have a cocktail.
She
Yes.
needs a shifter elixir pronto.
Yes.
Maybe Rio will be the one to give it to her.
There you go.
Yeah. We also want to just mention that there will be spoilers in this episode. So if you haven't read J.E. Larson's books yet, just please pause, go read, because just like the cereal, we're spilling the tea. So just you're forewarned.
Right?
Mm.
And I highly recommend you read it.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna start off slow, but what inspired you to start writing this series? So this series came off of my initial one that I started writing when I finally got the courage from my husband to sit down and actually start writing it. That one is in the works. I'm kind of working on a rewrite for it now, but this story kind of gave birth to it, and I wrote the villains of this story first, kind of a untraditional way to go about it. But what inspired me of this story was just to kind of like say, what is the main conflict? Like what's the thing that's happening? The world is dying. Okay, who's causing the world to die? And then the whole concept of this story kind of came about. I love the shifters in general, and I don't see or read a lot of shifter books out there that really dive into the fantasy world on it. It's mainly just about like the alpha male shifter who we do have that character in this book, but this book really follows a female main character who is a shifter herself and kind of her journey along the storyline of she possibly saves her dying world.
I
love it. Yeah, because you're right. Shifters are not main characters in a lot of the
Mm-mm.
books, so that is a nice.
Not the ones I've read.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No. I've turned some people into like, I was not a shifter girly. Now I am. I was like, see, you just got to read it. I will hook you in.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
All right. So, how did you develop the new unique world in your series? I have to credit that to where I live, and that's in
Oh.
my beautiful home state of
Mm.
Alaska. I was born and raised basically up here, and I literally can look out my window and there's mountains just everywhere. And as Alaskans, we're living in the woods. We live in the city. I live outside of Anchorage, but we are like heart and soul. We're out fishing, hunting, camping, hiking, doing all of those things. So nature is really connected into a lot of things we do. And that helped me really construct and build the world. I get really descriptive, and when you read, you can kind of close your eyes and you can see yourself there after you've read it all.
Mhm.
But but it just kind of the writing paints the picture of it, and I just get a lot of inspiration of that from taking my dogs on the walk on the hiking trail or hiking up Mount Baldy in my backyard. It's just a really unique place that I get to be in.
So
That's
just to
awesome.
piggyback on that then, so Skylar's favorite beach, what is it, the
The
turquoise?
green sand beach.
Green sand beach. Is that any way inspired by any of the beaches that you have, the shoreline that you have in Alaska?
It's not actually, it's a very it's a beach in Hawaii. It's
Oh,
actually a
Oh.
real beach in Hawaii. It's on the Big Island, and did my undergraduate degree is in geology,
very
and I
cool.
studied the volcanoes on the Big Island, and that green sand beach is a caldera, and it has a very unique mineral of it that's an olivine green sand beach. So it is a real beach, and
Oh, cool.
I
Cool.
it's my favorite place in the whole world. My husband already knows your ashes are getting scattered there. We'll figure it out.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait, I have another
That's
question.
awesome.
I,
Well,
I,
not about the ashes, but like
But
that's awesome.
I have another question now.
Oh my
The
gosh.
flower, the spoiler flower,
Mm.
is
Mm.
that an inspo flower from nature that you've seen in magical Hawaii?
it isn't, but it was just something that connected the two characters so
Okay.
seamlessly. And I didn't, at first, I was like, there's got to be something that connects Daxton and Skylar together
Mhm.
that is revealed as a really big part of it, especially in book two. And that flower just really fit in so seamlessly to this. And
Mm.
it was
That
one
was
of my favorite things to write. It was really pretty.
that was beautiful. I loved that. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. I'm done interrupting. I'm so sorry.
Jumping around. We got to get the basics
I
in.
told you I was a big
I
fan.
know. Fangirling over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So, in a trial of fate, the characters face difficult decisions that challenge their destinies. What inspired you to explore the theme of fate versus free will in the story? And earmuffs to listeners who haven't read it. Skylar volunteering herself to take her cousin's place.
So with this one, I am a really big feminist myself, and I think that it's important for there to always be a choice, even outside of just women in general, but there's always a choice to be made in how you'd like to live your life and go through with that. Skylar choosing to be a part of the trials instead of possibly letting someone else claim her as their mate and staying was a
Mhm.
really big empowerment thing for her to do. And it was something that I wanted to touch on with her character and part of her growth throughout the entire series.
Yep. That
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah. I appreciate the feminism there.
Mhm.
All right. So, which character in the series is closest to your heart and why? And did any real life experiences or historical events influence the storyline or characters in your book?
So Ria is really close to my best friend. She just like
Mm.
tells it to you straight. She is upfront, doesn't give you any BS, and will tell you things sometimes you don't really want to hear. And
That's
then
the best kind.
Shaw is really like my brother.
Ah.
Honestly.
Oh.
When I got to sign my brother bought my book. Like, I don't know if he like he reads it, but he's like a chiropractor, hockey player person. So he's like, yeah, my sister wrote a book, I'm gonna buy it. And then his entire front office, they have a book club and they ended up reading my book and they're like, you never told us your sister wrote things. And they're like, we read book two. Your sister wrote some things. But but I dedicated, I wrote in his dedication like Shaw is an extent
Oh.
like gains so much from you. Just like the relationship that Skylar and Shaw have is a lot of what I do have with my own brother.
Oh my gosh, I
Mm.
That's
love
so
that.
That's
beautiful.
so sweet.
Shaw was such a great, and I wrote a question later on to talk about Shaw more, but I loved Shaw. He was a great character.
Oh.
He's definitely a favorite amongst the readers, and I'm really
Mhm.
happy that people have really taken to him.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
your brother have like a big head about it?
No, he's like, gosh, dang it, my sister did something else good. He's my little brother, so he's always like, okay, what else did she gonna do now?
Oh.
Chiropractor and hockey player sounds pretty cool and accomplished.
Oh yeah, and he just had a baby too, so now I'm an auntie. He's got
Oh,
a son, so
Is
congratulations.
he
yeah,
older or younger than you?
he's younger than me,
Okay.
Hmm.
about three
Looks up to
years.
you. That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
sweet.
older sisters are awesome.
I'm an
Oh.
older sister too. My brother. All right, anyway. How do you approach writing a long running series and do you plan it all out or you do the stories evolve as you go? I mean, you already mentioned the other books, some planning, but
It's planned out. The big scenes, the ending, every kind of start and finish of a book is planned out. It's the journey along the way that I get to play around with.
Okay.
Um, there's certain things that I didn't necessarily plan out, but as the characters developed and kind of took on a role of their own, I saw it best to kind of guide them in different directions and how things were going. But the main parts have all been planned, and the ending is done, mapped out, and I know how it's going to end, and it's gonna be good.
I can't.
Ooh.
Well, I don't want it to end, but I can't wait for the third book.
You have time. Don't worry.
I do, I guess.
So what's your writing process like? Do you have like a routine? Do you write somewhere specific? Any inspiration?
I definitely am a morning writer, with my day job and then kids, my amazing husband, like towards the end of the day, it's just all gone. So I'm definitely a more of like I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and get a couple hours of writing in before the kids get up
Oh
and
Lord.
go to school and work for the day. And I just love sitting like in the living room with my writing playlist on in my headphones and then just kind of tuning the world out and going with it.
Ooh,
Okay.
what is
Ooh,
your
so
yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask. What's on that playlist?
Um, I've got a very large mix of songs. Now you're having me kind of like look it up right now because I was listening to it this morning when I was
I want to know.
typing away.
Like different per book too, like or per scene. Do you change it up?
Mm.
When I get into a writing mode, it all just really flows. But if I'm in like a fight scene, there's definitely a different vibe to the music.
Mhm.
Or if I'm in ahead of a different character with a different point of view, I like to start off the writing with that character's kind of song that I have in mind.
Hmm.
Like in
Must be so hard.
it, it's really fun. These characters live rent free in my head. So literally, when I'm just out walking or exercising, or I'm just kind of like someone says she's staring off into space, like it's weird, but I'm like imagining these characters talking to themselves in my head and like playing out conversations. I'm like, would they say this? I'm like, no, that's not right. Well, maybe if they tried this, and oh yeah, that's how they're gonna do it. That's how it's gonna go.
Oh wow, that's
But
How
fun.
cool.
like with like when I get inside Castor's head where there's a scene with Castor, the song that I like to play with him is like Sex on Fire by Kings of
Yeah,
Leon. Anything Kings of
that
Leon is Castor.
Favorite band.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
a great song though.
and
Yeah.
that screams Caster.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
what
Yeah.
a firecracker that guy is.
Mm.
And then like who would like when I've got Shaw on there, I don't know who it's by, but it's Born Ready.
Hmm.
Tina, come
Is
on, you know
one.
these things.
Oh, I'm really it's Born Ready by Zayd Wolf.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Cool.
Would be like Shaw's character. And then with Daxton, I have different vibes with him. But
Complex character.
his main song is definitely Infinity by James Young.
Oh, I need to look
Hmm.
that up. Okay.
I don't know that. All right, I like this. Very specific
Mhm.
with character. It's very cool. And they're a part of you, so that's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so no, I missed a question. What was the most difficult scene to write and how did you approach it? And do you
In which
cry when you write these difficult scenes?
in book one or two? Or are you just gonna go with book one?
Either
Either one.
any.
Either
Any?
either
There
any.
is one in book three that I had to like shut my computer because I wrote it and then I had the, when you write, you go back and you like reread it to make sure like you're drawn into it. And I had to like shut my computer and was like, oh God, they're gonna kill me. But it has to happen.
No, no,
Oh
don't do
no.
it.
Uh-oh.
Just don't do it.
Oh
It
no.
has to, it
Vaccinate
makes
it.
sense, it has to happen. But it
No,
was
it doesn't.
What is
I don't
it?
know what's happening.
I'm
Don't
scared.
do it. Make a prediction.
but
Don't touch
book
her.
in book one of the more difficult scenes to write, or one of the ones that like pulled emotion from me was when she woke up in the healer's quarters when she saw the scars on her back for the first time.
Mm.
Hmm.
That one was a lot of like personal like things going in. Like I personally like suffered from depression, so like the thoughts of her like just ending it have
Hmm.
been real thoughts that I know people have experienced before,
Hmm.
and it was they're just saying don't give up, like they didn't break all of you was one of the main
Mhm.
lines that I just hoped really sung and went true with a lot of people.
I love
And
that.
then again in book two, one of the hardest ones to write was the labyrinth in general. It
Oh.
was the whole first trial that she went through. I must have rewritten that like four times.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
it was
wow.
so complex
Uh-huh.
with and again, I have another question about that one, but just to, since you're talking about it now, like I've never, books have done trials before in the past, but like I felt like this was so unique, and the fact that it was like talking back was
Mm.
it was like likable, and also you hated him at the same. Well, I'm giving it a gender. It's probably not. It has a. It's
That's true. You should,
it's an entity.
It's an it entity is probably a really good way to go with
Yeah,
that one.
it's an entity. I like hated the thing, and also I was like, oh, it's kind of like snarky and like I like it at the same time, but very I forget where we were going with that. But yes, that I could imagine that's a hard scene to write as well because it's
hard
very
scene.
complex.
And then the end of the second book was definitely hard to write when they were separated. That was I was like I that's how I knew the second book was going to end though, because it had to like you it's like the flow of it. They were brought together, but then they had to break them apart for them to each like for her to go on her own journey to finish the whole thing.
So
They
this-
always say,
oh, go ahead.
sorry. I was like, they always say when the character, when it's too happy and things are too coming together, then that's when they just rip your heart out afterwards and
Yeah.
never get too comfortable. So
yeah.
you knew something was happening.
I read that last page of book 2 and I was like, what? And I like reread the chapter again to like I was like, but wait, I don't want it to be over yet. Let me just reread it. Maybe it won't happen.
Yeah.
But that difficult scene you said you were writing in book 3, is that at the end? It's gonna be like a cliffhanger where we're just gonna be like, oh my God, we have to wait until the next book.
Is it in the middle?
It's towards the end, but
Uh-oh.
it's not the cliffhanger.
Oh, but it's not the cliffhanger.
So,
Oh God.
so there's heartache and then a cliffhanger. Got it.
Great.
Correct.
A
This
lot
one,
of struggle.
yeah, so I would definitely say it has a similar book 3 has a similar ending to book 1. Like book 1, I always thought as like a good to be continued, like you want more. Book 2 is definitely more of a cliffhanger. The end of book 3 is more similar to book 1's ending. Like there's more, yet you're just like you had 8 questions answered. You feel like your cup is like filling up, and then you're like, wait, it's still half empty. There's still like
They're still missing.
there's still a 4th book.
Yeah. But there'll be 5 in total, right?
4.
4.
Oh, this one.
Okay. Why did I think 5? Okay, good. It's fine. I'm not panicking. It's fine.
All right, my last question is beautiful lines such as I will always find you, we will always find each other. How do you find inspiration for them? Or does it just flow out of you, or you just
Is it too sappy to say my husband?
No, I was hoping you would say that because you said he was your inspiration to like start writing. I was like, I bet it was him.
He's not a man of words. He's a man of action, and then I just put words into his mouth. But he's he's always been there when I needed him. And we've been married for 8.5 years now. We've had really big highs and really big lows, but somehow we just always find our way back to each other. And so that kind of helped with that inspiration of that line for Daxton to say, it's just like when I first met my husband, it was just like I was always finding him in a crowd, like always somehow just centering towards him when we first met. And so that's how that line kind of came about.
I love that.
Mhm.
Stick.
That's so beautiful. That was a good answer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Does he know?
Yeah, I'm sure he does,
Does he
right?
know that you're like inspired by him to write these characters and these love stories?
Is it funny that he's like the first person I talked to about things, and he like the first person who read it. He brought a Trial of Fate with him on a hunting trip up at a mountain when he was goat hunting with his bow. He packed it with him. My very first like half printout of like, this is a story I'm thinking of, and he like took it with him. And when you're backpack hunting in Alaska, like weight matters. He's going on like a 30-mile trek with his bow trying to get a
rainbow.
sheep. Yeah. We both bow hunt, or I have a bow license. He's more of a hunter now. But
Are we talking about like bow and arrow?
yeah, like a
We're in the Northeast. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, sorry.
For city people.
I mean, when I'm talking about how Skylar's drawing her bow, that's from personal experience.
Got
I
it.
know
This
how
makes
to-
a
Cool.
lot of
Cute.
sense right now.
Yeah.
So you're like a real badass. Okay, got it.
Oh goodness, I'm blushing now. You can't see that, right?
Oh, so he's like a manly man hunting with a bow and like reading his wife's like romantasy book. That's so freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
Like he's not a
He's a keeper.
Like, look what I'm reading.
what a keeper. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Precious heart.
And
Precious.
we've got 2 little daughters, so I always tell them, I'm like, you were meant to be surrounded by beautiful women. Just enjoy.
What a lucky
Mhm.
guy. It's fantastic. Okay. Now that we're done swooning over your husband. All right. Well, this is actually a perfect question that I wrote then. Were there any characters based on real life inspirations? Like, is your husband like is Daxton your husband then? Like,
There's a lot of pieces of Daxton that my husband, like some of his lines, like his humor is my husband's humor. There have
Mhm.
been a couple lines, and my husband Kevin has been like, "I've said that. I said that to you last week," and I was like, "I don't know what to tell you."
Thank
hilarious.
you.
Like it's in the book.
Do you
Hilarious.
want some credit? Do you want me to write your name in the book?
Well, the second one's dedicated to him, so I was like, "There, you've got
Yeah,
it."
perfect.
That's
There you go.
beautiful. I love it.
But
Um,
and then yeah, it's not like you can't really base an entire character off of someone because they can, but it's easy to put little things that you care about with someone into that character itself. And I think that will always be there for me in my writing.
yeah.
Just because it's you as the writer, I have to really like the main male character, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a reason there.
Mm,
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so who would your dream fan cast be for your characters, particularly like Skylar and Daxton, if you could pick a celebrity?
Is it really bad that I'm horrible at this? Like I
I'm
don't know.
so bad at it. They're
I
so
know
good at it. And I'm
I
like,
know you
who is
put on your Instagram one time and people were like Taylor Swift and then someone picked like a really
Because she's
short
tall.
actress. Yeah. Someone else picked a really short actress and I was like, I can't see it because like Skylar's so tall.
Yeah.
They said like Madison, I'm looking it up right now. They said like Madison Eastman
I don't know who that.
or Scarlett Johansson or Barbara
Uh,
Palvin,
yeah.
Yeah.
Palvin, because she's tall. I could see it.
What was the Easton? Who was the Easton person? Madison
Madison.
East
Madison.
Yeah, Madison Eastman.
Eastman.
Iseman.
Oh, I
she's
don't
very
know.
pretty.
She's very pretty. I
Hmm.
don't know who this person is though.
Oh, she looks tall and lanky.
Tall and
Well, like
lanky.
she's got like this pose in this one picture. She's like, ooh, kicky.
Kicky.
Kiki. You can take someone out. Let's go.
Right?
Right.
See, look
Okay.
at those legs. She
Look at
looks
those
good.
legs. Okay, that's so funny. Okay. And what about Daxton? Anybody?
I don't know really off the top of my head. I'm always a big fan of Alexander Skarsgård,
Mm.
It's a good
but I
one.
don't know if that would fit him necessarily. He needs to he needs a rugged side to him.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
How
maybe
would you guys?
Alexander would be more caster.
Yeah, that would actually be really
Oh,
good for
yeah.
Maybe?
Oh, I like that. That's a good pick.
There's
Who do
no
you?
one like Daxton. That's the problem.
See, all the good main characters, like the reason why you can't find a celebrity that
Or
looks
a
like them
real
because they're
human.
yeah, because they don't exist. They're so perfect in your
Yeah.
mind and what you built them up to be. You're like
Like
you
Well, and
Zayden. We can't get a Zayden character here,
never
right?
make fun of
no,
Aiden.
I mean like the actor who played Jon Snow, maybe because of his role
Yeah.
in Game
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
Thrones, maybe. But then
Make,
he needs
let's make him taller though.
Yeah, I
yes.
was like, he needs to be taller.
Short, right?
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
shorty, but we still love him. It's
I know
Okay,
okay.
it's kind of
we'll
a
help
letdown.
you. We're gonna help you. We're gonna figure this out. We
Maybe that should
we're
be
on
my
the
next
hunt.
Instagram story. We need help with finding
Yes.
Paxton's
We
Lots
can
of
do
help.
that. All
Lots
right.
of help.
Yes.
Yep.
Fan cast.
We'll boost that.
Here we go.
and cast Daxton. Thank you.
Okay, so what is the most significant internal challenge that you think Skylar faces in the book, and how does it help define her character arc? Was it when she was captured by Blade? Like that seemed like a big pivotal moment for her. It kind of changed the course of her life.
It was, and the she kind of comes to a realization in book three, like that
Mm.
she is enough, that she does have
Mm.
her own strength and her own power, and she no longer doubts herself.
Okay.
And I think it comes to that like peak of a point in book three, and then later in book four, she starts to use that power.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's kind
perfect.
of a full circle of like she's understanding that she does have it. Because in book two, she starts to understand like I can maybe do this, and she pushes herself to succeed in those two trials. And then in book three, she finally there's a moment before the third trial happens where she owns it and she knows it, and you're reading this and you're just
Mm.
like, finally, she's there. She's seeing everything that Daxton's been telling her, that Castor's been slyly telling her, that Shaw's believed in, that Ria's told her from the very start. Like she finally owns that before she does a third trial.
Okay. All right. I
I
love that.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here, I'm wondering how you're going to answer this. Do you have a favorite antagonist or villain in your book, and like why? Like what makes them compelling? Is it Queen Seraphina? Is it her right-hand man that I can't remember the name of right now?
Oh, I mean, you mean Maeve?
Oh yes, sorry.
Oh,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good. You're good. Um, I do. Maeve is probably one of my favorites to write,
Okay.
for sure. She's like the typical evil queen, but
Yeah.
there's a lot more to her. And
Oh,
you
I
know,
have a big theory about her.
yeah, like you know there's more to her as you're reading it. You're like, this is just kind of like you've just read the iceberg of the things that
I wonder
she's
if I
that
can
she's
say the
Mm.
theory.
Yeah,
You're
she
obviously not going to tell me, but can I like tell you my theory about her?
and we could cut it if you
Yeah, yeah,
once
yeah.
you hear it and you don't want to say her.
We can definitely cut it. I'm taking note of the time right now that I'm asking this. So my yeah, I'll type it in here. Minute 25. Okay, so my theory is that she actually killed Daxton's mother,
Mm.
right? Like on the battlefield when she like
No, she's gonna tell you.
I don't think she's gonna tell me, but I think I think she's the reason why they died because she wanted to take power, and I think she's also reason why everything's dying. I think
you're
she.
partially right.
Okay, okay, I'll take partial.
Ooh,
Take partial.
ooh.
Okay, ooh, but that means it's more complicated. Okay, great. Okay.
That's
I
good.
and I've had beta readers read book three, and
Okay.
they there's a plot twist in there, and they're like,
Ooh,
"What? What happened?" And I was like, "Yep, you've known now. You know what I have known since the start of this book."
wow. She's
Ooh.
just so gross and evil. Like how she just sucks the life.
She's a
Mm.
life sucker,
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
sucker, and it's she doesn't care, and it's really gross, and it's a gross way that she does it, and I just hate her face.
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. That means I wrote her very well. You can hate her. I give you full
Really do.
permission to hate her.
She has to make it all like
Good.
sexualized too. Like no one wants to be around you, lady. I don't like it.
But do you love
Mm-mm.
to hate her? Like, did you write her and you
Yeah.
were thinking like she's an awesome bad guy?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
All right.
That's what makes a good bad guy, that
Yeah,
you hate
yeah.
them
Yeah.
so much.
You're
And
like,
her
They're
can they
doing the
just
job.
die? Can they
and
just
her
die?
Yeah.
and her right hand man that's like just like
Ah,
kicking her ass all
yeah.
the time.
Oh, the other High Prince, Seamus.
Seamus,
There
thank
we
you.
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's awful, but I'm like, come on, like do something redeeming. Like, come on. Are you're not gonna he's not gonna redeem himself, is he?
She's not doing
He's gonna be like Tamlin, like we're like, no, F that guy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like he always you always write that like he looks forlornly at like fated mates, like he's sad, like he wants to have a fated mate. And I'm just like, wait, you can't be that bad if like fated mates are like highly regarded and you're like like sad and
Nope.
sorrowful.
Any evil
You
people.
have some emotion.
Yeah.
No, but like, is there a book out there that where there's such a terrible character and they have a fated mate? Or there's
Oh.
only good people with fated mates?
No, I guess there's bad ones too.
I think the bad ones can get one.
Mm.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yes, hint
Just
there.
throwing that out there.
Um, so speaking of people that like, you're on the fence about, I personally did not hate, and you could tell me if I'm saying his name wrong, Gillen,
Gillen.
Gillen. I did
Mhm,
not hate
Gillen.
him at the end of Trial of Fate. At first, I was like very mad at him for wanting Skylar to like strengthen the pack, and he was kind of like using his archaic views of marriage on her. But like he did truly love her, and they had a beautiful childhood connection, and his
Mhm.
goodbye was heartbreaking. So I'm like assuming we will see him again further down the road in this series.
Oh, definitely. He's in book three
Okay,
and
great.
four.
Mm.
And four. Oh, okay.
He's
How do
not
you
dead in
like?
three.
Okay, but like,
So
take the
I'm a big
one.
advocate for Gillen
Okay.
because his character is like really important. My husband hates him, but
Oh,
I really advocate for him because I look if you look at the world that he's in through his lens,
yeah.
he's young, yet he's just shifted, and now the entire responsibility of his all his people are now thrown onto his shoulders, and he has to step into this role that he's been like
Mhm.
trained for his entire life.
Mhm.
And in marriages, like we take after marriage of like our own parents, and we learn through that. What
Mhm.
he's seen his parents do is what he's expecting to do, and he hasn't seen anything different. So for Gillen, like he's just doing what he's kind of been expected to do his whole life. And then him sending his apology to Skylar, like at the very end, was kind of like an olive branch for him. And like it's a really big step in his own growth to do that for her.
It was really sweet with the painted rock and everything. I loved that.
The art, the soft, you got to soften them up a little bit with the artist side.
I love that. That was
Yeah.
so sweet.
And everyone's like, oh, we hate Gillen, but we don't. We're confused.
No, yeah.
That's how I felt.
Like
I was like, no, I don't like this guy. But then towards the end, like Jenna too, I was like, oh, okay, not too bad.
I like him better than I like Kale, but whatever.
Fuck Kale.
I can agree with that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I loved how Skylar spoke about her connection to her inner animal, and especially in book one, like not being ready to shift yet. She just didn't want to do it yet. Do you feel like that speaks to the natural human resistance against change?
Oh, absolutely. Like everyone's like walking their own path. And I work in education, so I see a lot of different kids writing their own ways and like different learning styles and everything. And it just kind of says not everyone fits into the same box, and you just have to be
Yeah.
willing to work with people and meet them where they're at.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then getting back to Shaw, you wrote your side characters so well. Shaw and his particular backstory, which is really heartbreaking. We touched on like how I love his friendship with Skylar, and it's so beautiful. And I really, really, really want him to have a happily ever after. And I know you're not going to tell me, but I just wanted to put it out there that I really want him to have a
Just
happily
in
ever
case
after.
you're not set.
So many people want him to have his own book.
Yeah, I think he'd be a
That would be
great
great.
spin-off.
Yeah.
Just
He
because
would
his
be.
past is so complicated, you could start from there, just
Mhm.
giving you an idea.
And his future's complicated too.
Well, if he
Ooh,
doesn't
oh.
die, maybe that's your next
If you
adventure.
I don't
Don't say that, Danielle.
Anything is possible.
No.
How dare you?
This.
How dare
I
you?
will spill a little tea. He does
Uh-oh.
have a point of view in the third book.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
I like that.
He's very cool.
She just
And
said she was gonna
and I
write it.
did appreciate the fan art of him. He's quite a muscular tall drink of water. Liked him.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I was like, oh dang, okay, hi Shaw.
Yeah, who made that?
That was Carol and Kat. I found them on Book Talk, and they love doing their own little AI character art for books that they read.
Oh.
And they did a whole cast of them. They've done Maeve, Nira, Skylar, Daxton, Castor. Their Castor is like one of my favorite ones that I've seen. It's really good. And then they did Shaw as well. And I was like,
Shout out to
Mm.
Carol and Kat.
yeah.
Mhm.
Both
I'll
with
look them up.
C's. Both with C's.
Carol with a C. Oh, so Katie, it's Carol with a C, and then Katie, Kaiti.
Okay. Carol and Katie. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Daxton, our Ice Daddy Daxton. I know your friend nicknamed him the Ice Daddy, right?
Yes, Andrea nicknamed him Ice Daddy Daxton. I was like, well, that's gonna stick now.
Right?
Forever.
Yeah.
Instead of Shadow Daddy, he's an Ice
It's so
Daddy.
different. Yeah.
So I love how
I-
like she's hot all the time and he's just like, here you go, here's a nice breeze. La la la. Like
Mm.
helping her
We're-
out.
What was it? The the other podcast, they were like the dual wank scene where he plays with ice through the boards. Autumn Wings and Smut was like, that's our favorite scene.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Like there's just no words for him really. He's just very high up on my book boyfriend list right now. He's super high up there.
Yay.
And then Castor, hilarious, very interesting character, snarky other brother, the Casanova, the jokester. He brings like a lot of levity to a scene when like it's needed. I feel like because Daxon can be like the serious guy, and then you got Castor in there kind of joking it up a bit. So perfect. That's all.
Typical younger brother, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
I think
right.
I like him. I think he's one of my favorites, actually.
Castor,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's one of my favorites to write in, for sure.
Oh, I have a theory about him.
Oh, God,
He's
here she goes.
he's he's in love with the spoiler. I forget the name of the demon.
Nissa?
Yes, thank you. I think he's secretly in love with her. Okay, whatever, fine.
That question is explored in book 3. Yes.
Okay. I'm like, are they mates? And he doesn't want to admit it, and she's too like traumatized to realize it. Like, okay, but whatever, it's fine. That's just my theory.
Your theory will be confirmed or not in book 3. Yes.
Okay, got it.
Good.
Book 3. Book 3. Got it.
So your series touches on some deep themes, self-identity, morality, duty to country. How do you navigate exploring those themes while also interweaving romance and the spice in it?
So for me as a reader, I've always been drawn to fantasy worlds, but as I was getting older, I wanted more romance into it than what I was given, and I ended up falling into the genre of romance, and then I was like, what if those two just combine into it? I know Trial of Fate is not like the typical romantasy that's just kind of all about the relationship. This one, I may have like branded it a little bit wrong. Maybe it's more of a romantic fantasy book because it has a lot more of this story and you get connections with the characters, but the romance is definitely still there as a solid subplot to this.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I've always, as a reader, really loved complex stories like this, and I was always like, it just needs a little bit of romance, and
Mhm.
that's exactly what I tried to write.
Perfect.
Well, I think too, like you have to like introduce the reader to all these different concepts, the world, like just everything that's going on. So it's hard to pack in one book in the beginning, especially like there's so much being thrown at you. So it's nice to have that little like spice here and there, that romance, that slow burn.
Oh yes, the slow burn is slow in the first book.
hmm
But
hmm
but boy, oh
But
boy.
appreciated. Yeah.
But boy, oh boy, in the second book with what that other podcast with the Smut Sisters, right? Is that what you said?
Oh,
Right.
Pot of Wings and Smut, yeah.
Okay. With the separate rooms, the wall. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay, so how does the setting of the series shape the decisions and growth of the characters since they visit like different parts of the world in the second book specifically?
So I really wanted them, like the first book, to be in the mainland. The second book's all in the Inner Kingdom, and then the third book, it's called A Trial of Two Worlds because the two worlds are being visited and they're coming
Mm.
together.
Mhm.
And then the fourth book, I haven't released the title of it officially yet, but it does have a title, and
Oh.
it encompasses like all of the entire world that Valdor's in as well. Um, so yeah.
And I know you like talked about how you kind of base it based on where you live. Like that's such a cool concept because I'm in Texas and I'm like South Texas. So it's just like flat land, dirt here. I could not get inspiration. I have to go away to get
Uh-huh.
inspiration for anything like that. So that's amazing that you're able to use that, your surroundings for that.
Mhm.
Thank
Right, like
you.
when we talk about going on like a girls' trip for like a book weekend, we're like, oh, we want to go to some mountainous place or a beach, and it's like literally where you live. It's like your backyard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great when I can like a 5-10 minute car ride and I'm at the parking lot for like one of my favorite mountains to go hike and you can just hike the trail line up to a different mountain peak and keep going and going and like you're up there in the middle of like the clouds are all beneath you and you can't see any of the city and you're just
Oh,
like
wow.
in a different world entirely. And I was like, if you can't draw inspiration from this, I don't know what else to tell you.
That's
I feel
beautiful.
like you wouldn't be stressed over there either. Like, how can you be stressed around all that beauty?
When it's cold and it's dark,
Oh,
like
I was gonna
oh,
say, are
right.
you in
There's
the
that.
6 months area of Alaska? Like where it's
yeah, I'm in Anchorage, so if you're like so this is Alaska, you can make it with your hand, like the state of
Yeah.
Alaska. And I'm down here, like the 6 months of is up here, but it
Oh.
it does get dark. The wintertime is personally really tough for me. I do have
Mm,
like a sunlight in my room that gives UV because
cool.
it's hard when you go to work in the morning and it's dark and then you're off at like 3 or 4 and then it's still dark.
Oh my
Mm.
gosh.
yeah.
Oof.
The daylight has passed like from like 12 to like 3 o'clock. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds awful.
Wow. That's
That,
rough.
But in the summertime, we literally don't sleep. The sun's just up all the time.
oh gosh.
Did you have a lot of like blackout
Like
curtains?
a yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we even have like when we go camping, we have a blackout tent. It helps with the kids a lot to have them go to sleep.
A blackout
Oh,
10.
Wow.
Didn't even think of that.
Right?
It's dark.
interesting.
Oh, that's nice. Tell my husband.
Cool. So the book, A Trial of the Heart, includes several complex and high-stakes situations. The trials are very complex and unique. Sometimes the trials can be pretty obvious, but a lot of the challenge stems from emotional and mental challenges versus the physical. So how did you choose what trials would be included?
So I knew from the beginning, especially when Queen Maeve in book one says like your mind, body, and soul will be tested. Each
Hmm.
one of those trials represents one of those things. The first trial is of the mind, second of the body, and the third is really testing the person's soul to see if their heart is worthy enough to be victorious and unlock the heart of Valdor. So that with that main theme in mind, I knew the first trial had to be it had to be a real mind fuck. You
Mhm.
Mhm.
had to go in
Yeah.
there and it's a labyrinth. So I wanted to make it a labyrinth, not a maze, because a maze is you don't know where you're going, but a labyrinth has one clear path. But the challenge is if you're strong enough to keep going on that path. And what maybe stops you is like tricks of the mind,
Mhm.
physical things that you have to go over. So I tried my best to fit all of those things in together, the labyrinth being a living entity itself. And,
Mhm.
spoiler alert, when it tricks her that she thinks Daxon is
Mm.
there, but he's
Yeah.
not.
Rude.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Good
And
labyrinth.
then that going on, like her bargain with him, that she's
Mm.
going to get a favor later on, and then even
I love that.
the final one where her animal spirit is actually like stripped from her,
Mm.
and she sees her mom, like she actually does
Yeah.
see.
Okay, that was actual
Oh.
a real like vision of her mother. Wow.
What was great about it too is I felt also tricked myself because I'm like, oh no, it's messing with it. And then I was like, wait, is it messing with her? Is this really happening? Like I was like back and forth myself. So I mean, I think that was a really good job.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was fascinating. That was such a great scene.
Hmm.
The whole trial was just mwah.
Well,
So were there
keeping
any
that.
parts? Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead. No, you're fine.
Were there any parts of your books that changed significantly from the initial concept when you were writing? I know you kind of said you already had it planned out and like in the middle change, but like how like, did you go back and forth with a lot of different parts?
Um, I debated for a while what creature she would have to slay in the second book,
Oh.
Oh.
in the second trial.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Mm.
I kind of
Hmm.
played back and forth on like, and that's why even like they were guessing for a little while, like, what could it be? And I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
what could it be? Let's play around
Oh,
with
Okay,
it for
so
a
you
little
wrote
bit.
that in. That's funny.
I was trying to guess too. I'm like, is it this? Like, what is
Yeah.
it?
And then I had to Google too. I was like, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh, all the magical creatures. Yes,
Yeah.
there were days where I was like, I'm having a writing day. My writing day is literally like researching all different types of magical creatures.
That's
Oh,
so fun.
yeah. That
Like,
is
what a
some
great job.
But it's
right.
fun because like we don't know all these things, but then it's like a history lesson for us. A
Yeah.
magical history
Exactly.
lesson.
Yeah.
Diving into a
Yep.
new world. Love
Do
it.
you so you said you're in education. I don't want to pry, but like what do you teach? Do you teach
Uh, I was a teacher
oh okay.
and
Gotcha.
I taught physical education and science.
Very
And I
Okay.
cool.
think this
You said
role,
geology before, so I was like, oh, maybe she's
yeah.
science or something like that. Okay. All right, cool.
So if you could go back and give advice to your younger self when you first started writing the series, what would it be?
Oh, it would be just to try to trust your gut and go with it. I this series that I decided to self-publish wasn't really created when I was younger, but I think the work putting into it was definitely there. It was just my advice would be just like keep reading and just write down every random idea that pops into your head. I was daydreaming of like, spin-off things of like stories that I loved. I was like, ooh, what if they did this or this? And I was just going to tell my younger self, keep doing that because it will turn into something.
Mm.
Oh, that's
Keep
great.
keep daydreaming because
Yeah.
it is worth your time.
I love that because you can take that in so many different ways too. Like I like to do art, so that would be like inspiration for myself, my younger self. Like just keep doing that, keep dreaming, keep any little thing that you think of or comes to mind, put it down on paper, and then maybe something will turn like it'll turn into something later, right?
Correct. It's
Yeah.
like don't
That's
ever give
cool.
up. Just keep daydreaming.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that. So how has writing this series changed you personally or professionally?
So writing the series was a little bit of it was a little scary for me because I do work in education and it is a fantasy romance book.
Mm.
So that's why I have my pen name and things to kind of really separate that with. But I believed in this story so much that I was like, my goal was to just share it and have other people like live within my world with me. I mean, that's the reason. And I told myself from the beginning, like if I broke even from like paying for cover, paying for the editor, everything, then my goal has been achieved. And I have
Oh,
finally reached that. So it's a really big thing to celebrate.
I love
oh,
that.
congratulations.
Yeah.
That's an amazing feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I just recently signed with a literary agent with Storm with
Yay.
and trying to get the Valdor series traditionally published.
Ah,
We've sent
I
out to
saw
like
that. I'm so excited for you.
thank you. I'm like, my husband always said like you're never know unless you're gonna try.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
queried some literary agents and then I got a couple replying back and I decided to go with Storm because they have a really great history and a lot of knowledge. And I was like, they had a list of editors already and I was like,
Mm.
yep, send them out. We'll see if we get any to bite. And I've had a couple no's like already, which is amazing, meaning people
Mm.
have read it, but they're like, this is gonna go somewhere. Like we don't have it space for it right now, but they're like, I have no doubt it's going to get picked up. So I'm
I'm
really hopeful for
sure.
that.
That's
Oh,
great.
Oh, we're gonna keep our fingers crossed
exciting.
for you.
Yeah.
Thank
I've
you.
I've literally said it to like my husband, to Dina, to Danielle. I'm like, she's like my Sarah J. Maas of like the indie authors. I was like, this is gonna be humongous. Like, I have no doubt it's gonna be huge.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
No, you're
I,
very talented and it's amazing books. It's amazing series in general. I'm so excited.
I'm like, my excitement comes from like, I can't wait for you guys to read book three. I'm just like, it's my favorite so far. I don't know what to
Is
do.
it? Oh.
oh.
Do we have an approximate? An
Oh yeah,
approximate?
release date.
I don't because it's on pause while I'm trying to get to
Mm.
see if anyone will take it for traditional publishing. But like, I
Sense.
have the cover for three. I have the
Oh,
cover already made for four, and
Oh.
beta reads are done with book three. So it's like it's there, and then
It's ready.
the first three chapters of four are written, and it's all plotted out. So all the work is being done behind the scenes,
I
and
want
it's getting there. She's like, I don't care
Ugh.
who edited it, I want it.
I won't tell anybody.
And she's gonna be like, you guys, all the things you need to know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So
Okay.
funny. Okay, so the last question I have is how do you handle moments of doubt or writer's block while working on your long series?
I dive into other books and reading other books that might spark an interest or an idea. Um, and just kind of like once I get into another story, then it kind of blocks out mine. And then it allows me just to kind of be like, oh, this is really cool, creative. When I'm able to get lost into another world and using reading, which I do love reading, it's really fun, it's enjoyable, that I'm able to disconnect from what I'm doing. It gives me a break, and then I'm able to kind of go back into it with a fresh start.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I recently attended like a women's art festival, right, celebrating women artists specifically, and seeing some of the art that they put out has now inspired me to like do some of like pieces that I've kind of had on the back burner. And I mean, I totally get that. Like diving into a different series, you can use that to kind of clear your mind and then like
Absolutely.
refocus on your own.
Mhm.
Very cool. Oh shoot, I was gonna say something. What was I gonna? I like got in my own way too. It'll come to me. So this next little segment we do, it's a lightning round. It's lightning round with this cereal. So it's basically like a this or that question, short
Ooh, okay.
answers, right? So just this or that. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Awesome. Me too. Who would you save in a fire? Tamlin or Kale?
Tamlin.
Oh, I love that.
That's two. That's two. That's two
Yep,
authors
last
now.
two
That
authors. Love it.
yeah.
Good.
Yes, I love it so much. Okay.
Paperback, hardcover, or Kindle or
Hardcover.
e-reader?
Mm.
Hardcover. Oh, interesting. Early morning reading or late night?
Morning.
Yeah. Twisted plots or romantic tension?
Ooh, romantic tension.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
And then a Valdor specific one. Would you rather be a shifter or a fae?
Shifter.
I knew you were gonna
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, so just some like little conclusion questions. Is there anything you want the listeners to know about the series? Like, don't judge this, wait for this, anything like that?
Well, I would say don't expect any trials in the first book. I
Yeah.
think
Mm.
that was, all of the books start with a trial of, and
Mm-hmm.
it's called the Valdor series. Like all four books start with a trial of something. You got fate, you have heart, two worlds, and then the fourth one. Like the trials are an overall theme of the book, and they're worth the wait when you get to book two, and even more when you get to book three.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was good.
Yeah, that is a good
The
one.
build up and the build up, to me, it's like when you get I'm an immersive writer, like you form connections with the characters. If that's not really like your cup of tea, then it might be a little challenging for you to get through sometimes. But if you want to know what's going on inside the characters' heads, this is 100% the book for you, and you will get attached to these characters. You'll feel things with them as you're reading it, and you'll go through the trials with Skylar. You'll be
Mhm.
imagine you're sitting with Castor and saying some kind of smarky remark, or you'll be with brooding Daxton when he's trying to figure out how to balance the secret he knows with Skylar, but his duty to protect his home and his people.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
100% agree. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, are there any Easter eggs in past books that we will rediscover in the next few books?
Oh, 100%. I love writing those Easter eggs.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. We already talked about projected time frame. So like basically where can listeners connect with you? Like shout out all your handles.
So I'm on JE Larson underscore author on Instagram, and then it's just JE Larson on TikTok. I don't know how I've gotten the handle of just that without author attached to it, but I do. And I'm on Facebook as well. Those are my social media reach outs. I love connecting with any readers and anyone saying like questions about the books or just saying like, ah, they liked it, or like anything. I'm like I love connecting with my readers and talking about the books or just kind of gushing over it. It's so much fun for me because it's my world that I created, and that was the reason
Mhm.
why I wanted to write, was to share it with everybody.
I
Oh,
love that.
that's sweet.
That's great.
Well,
Well, we thank you so, so, so much for joining us and talking about these books with us. And we can't wait for book three. So
yes.
excited. And we'll keep our fingers crossed for traditional publishing for
Yes,
you because
for
you
real.
Yeah.
you
Yes,
deserve it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
we'll manifest that for you for 2025.
Oh yeah.
I love that idea. Yes.
Put it out into the universe.
All right, everybody. So make sure you follow us everywhere you listen, rate and review us, please. Please follow us on Instagram at Sips with the Suriel, Suriel. Click our Linktree bio and follow us on Goodreads. We also put our episodes each week on YouTube, so please subscribe and like. Same name, Sips with the Suriel. All right, friends, keep reading to whatever end.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.